If it doesn't start panning out in a time frame, in my mind, once I feel those physical symptoms, I'm disgusted by the fact that this market's not moving to the will of ICT. How dare this son of a bitch sit around here in hem and haw and not move to my target? I'm recording this. It should be doing what I wanted to do. That's what's going on in my head today. I'm watching it. That's what's in my head. So as soon as I feel that, I said, okay, time to put a time limit on it. 2 minutes. This candle or the next, it needs to start showing it to me. It doesn't. Okay, start peeling it off. I got 5 contracts, 1 off. Do I feel any better about it? Nope. All the way down to the smallest one. Now I don't care. I don't care what the outcome's going to be, because I've taken as much as I can take off that trade, because if it's not going to go higher and drops from where I got out on my partials and leave 1 contract remaining, who's going to argue and say that was the bad decision to do? Because I got out at the best case scenario I could have with the 4 contracts that I peeled off that weren't going any higher. And if I would have held on to them, it would have been a full stop out on 5 contracts. That's a winning trade. But it didn't go to your 39.45 level, ICT. You were wrong. I have $9,187 of evidence in that demo account that if I did those things any other way, that wouldn't be the case. That wouldn't be the result of it. So you can argue about all the things that don't matter and never grow and improve your mindset about how you're going to endeavor and work yourself through these moments that every trader is going to have for the rest of their career. You're going to have these moments where your trade isn't panning out, and you're going to have to wrestle with it. This is the reason why I tell you, don't make the public your partner in trading. Social media is not your partner in your trading business. That's why these same people are floundering and failing, and they're bent out of shape because they feel it and they can't get out of the situation, because if they stop doing what they're doing, they know what the public's going to say. Oh, look at you. You stop putting your MyFX book up there. Sam, listen to me, okay? All the bullshit aside, I would whoop your ass in that competition. Any competition. I would beat your shit silly. Here's my best advice to you. Stop making your MyFX book public. Just do it for the rest of the year. And then at the end of the year, show it. I promise you will do better. You'll do better. The guy Corbs I keep promoting him all the time. I think he's a wonderful personality for this industry. He doesn't get out there and brag. He doesn't pretend to be something he's not. I think he's a pretty likable guy. And he tried doing live sessions and trading live. And I physically felt uncomfortable for him. When I was talking earlier, when I was talking about the trader that's throwing his glasses across the room and pitching shit around, he's who I was thinking of. And I know in his mind, he was thinking, fuck, why am I on this fucking live stream doing this in front of everybody? And I told him, I don't think what you're doing is the most efficient way of doing what it is you're trying to be as a trader. I have no problems with someone trading, recording something, or not even recording it and saying, here's the trade I did, and here's the proof of it, either with a broker statement or something to the effect of showing their entire trade history. I don't need to do that. I can fucking trade and record it. And then I'll show you everything afterwards too. But I'm also going to tell you why I'm going to do it before I'm doing the trade. So I'm doing well beyond my FX book. But Corbs, he literally was out there going through it, wrestling with it. Who? What? What was he contending with? Himself. I guarantee you, he was thinking to himself, oh man, if I stop doing this, they're going to think I'm not a good trader. And that's why I told him publicly in those live streams, I said, in my opinion, it's not shameful for you to not do this. If you do a trade, show your executions later on and the logic as to why you did it. Real traders will recognize that. Anybody else that wants to talk about it and talk all kinds of bullshit, fuck them in their opinion. They're nobodies. They're going to work on Monday. They're going to be hoping they get a week's vacation. Their opinions don't mean shit. And then when he stopped, his results improved again. Why? Because the pressure's off. Like, I felt that. I felt that when I was with my first mentorship group. I had 836 people. And they're all coming at me saying, answer this and answer that and look at this and look at that. And you know how I am. I like to overdo it. Like, I'm trying to make sure I pour everything I got in me into you. And I'm feeling guilty because there's no way I can humanly respond to all of them. And then also, on top of it, focus on the marketplace in front of me. It was, honestly, I thought I was going to be able to do it. I really thought I was going to be able to do that. And I was like, what the fuck? I can't focus on anything. Like, I literally felt like I had 1,000 voices screaming in my ear. I couldn't hear any of them. It was only them just zipping by like a chat window when I was doing, what the hell was that program? GoToWebinar. Yeah, GoToWebinar. 800 people. Now, obviously, not all 800 was sending me messages at the same time, but a lot of them were. And they would repeat and say, look, you're not answering my question. And I'm like, fuck. I wanted to be anywhere else but that place at that time. Because I couldn't get out of it. I was in that very thing that it feels like when you're in a trade and you can't do what you know you should do. You can't just kill it. So you need to have a process of making sure that you guard your mind, because this is hard shit. Because you are trying to ignore the inevitable temporary failures that this business is going to present to you and everybody in it. You're going to lose. You're going to lose money. You're going to get stopped out. You're going to take a trade and it never gets to any profitability. It's going to just rip right into your stop. You're going to press buy when you really wanted to go in and go short. That's a stupid error, but you're going to do it. You're going to do it. You're going to go into a trade and forget the calendar has something getting ready to come on. Hope it ain't CPI. And as soon as you get in and you realize you did it wrong, get the fuck out. Just don't even worry about arguing about it. Just get out. You have to have a process. And the process is, first rule of this industry, preserve capital. When in doubt, get the fuck out. You cannot fuck around and stay in this market in a position that you don't even understand why you're in, while you're holding on to something that you know is highly unlikely to pan out profitable and more likely to go to your stop. You're convinced of it because that's all you could see happening. You're worrying about that tick that's next to come after the next adjustment in the market price. And you're watching it go closer and closer to your stop. Just 4 more points and it'll be stopping you out. Just 3.5 more points and it's going to stop you out. You're not thinking about, is it showing me signs that it wants to continue in the direction I traded in? You're not looking at that. So as soon as you abandon your trade idea and you start taking your attention to worrying about the stop loss getting hit, that is the surest sign that you need to kill the trade. That is the easiest, absolute no-brainer. It wins every time. Get out. Because if you give yourself enough time, let me train you over this year. I'm going to teach you exactly how to identify that bullshit. And you need to be able to say, I'm not thinking about it. It's just the way it is. It's a process. As soon as I feel that shit, I'm done. I'm out. No more risk. I'm not going to trade the rest of that day. I'll come back tomorrow and see how I feel about it. And you're going to feel good that you've killed that pain. You need to understand that that's seizing control over yourself, your reckless self. That part of you that will fuck you up in this marketplace, that person needs to be held down, curb stomped sometimes, because you're going to put yourself in harm's way if you don't. And when you get to the point where you see this as a strength, you will not feel like you're abusing yourself or denying yourself success. you're giving yourself the chance that it must be done for you to have a real chance at being successful in this. There's no safety net. None. In that instance, you are losing all control. And you're falling into failure. You're falling into it. You could stop at any time. Grab a hold of something and preserve yourself from falling into a full stop and regret. Because you will get stopped out. And when it does, you're going to think to yourself, I knew it was going to stop me out and I could have kept myself from losing. I should have just killed it. And you're going to do that for hours and days and weeks, beating yourself up. Let me explain something to you. This is what you don't understand. These fucking clowns out there that make up shit, Photoshop and meme and bullshit and make all kinds of lies about me. None of these people could ever say anything to hurt me. None of them. I am the hardest critic of myself than any of you fuckers could ever be. You can't do shit to me. If I don't do something the smallest scale of what I think I should have done, I beat myself up about that. I can't let those things go because I have obsessive compulsive disorder. It's not something that is fixed. You can't fix that. You have to cope with it. You live with it. But I'm not worried about these fucking clowns. And you're going to have these problems creep into your trading. And you're going to have to be met with, can you deal with that? Can you deal with these uncomfortable feelings of you can't control this? The outcome is outside of your control. The market's going to take something from you. Are you going to wrestle with that? Are you going to compensate and put a blind eye to it? Say, oh, I don't see it there. And then fault me or someone else, your spouse, your job. Somebody else was the reason why you didn't do what the fuck you were supposed to do. Because now you have no excuse. Now you know what you're supposed to do. It's easy. It's easy. Just let go of it. There's plenty of trades out there. And you're going to find, by training with me this year, by focusing in on the low resistance liquidity runs, those are the trades that I'm training your eye to see them. They're the little unicorn trades that just, look at the unicorn. There ain't nothing fucking scary about a unicorn. You want to go there, you want to pet it, you want to be friends with it. It's inviting. That's how a low resistance liquidity run signature is. It's nice. They're just very, very pleasant to deal with in the marketplace. They're real quick to respond to you, and they get almost instant gratification. And that, to me, is what every trader wants. Contrast that with the fucking donkey from Shrek. Okay? This little fucker, he's cute, but he's a pain in the ass. That's exactly what a high resistance liquidity run signature is. Like, listen, you don't want to be rude, okay? You tolerate your cousin. You don't want to see him, okay? But they always find their way at functions. But you're trying to find your way out of the conversations and always being outside their reach. You want to treat the high resistance liquidity run signature trades like that. And as soon as you identify that you fell into a conversation with that cousin, like the high resistance liquidity run signature, and it becomes uncomfortable and you're looking for any opportunity for him to shut the fuck up so you can get at the conversation and say, oh yeah, you're texting your friend, call me right now so that way I can pretend I got to get out of here. Okay. You're looking for any off ramp. That's what you're doing with these types of trades. You're looking for any reason to bail on it. As soon as you recognize you're in a high resistance liquidity run signature, listen, go back and look at the commentary in that video. I knew what I was doing. I even labeled it. It's high resistance liquidity runs. I'm showing you by contrast. Look at the other trades that I show. When they're low resistance, they're just real quick, sudden, boom, delivered, secured the bag. Easy, over and over and over again. Easy, easy, easy. And then, what the hell's going on? I'm trying to get somewhere and I feel like I'm on a stair climber in the same place, but doing thousands of repetitions and it just can't climb to my target. That's exactly what a high resistance liquidity run signature is. The market's moving. You can make money. You can make 5 points, but when you're trying to hold on for these big, long 20 handles, 30 handle moves, they can wear you out. If you're in there trying to expect real quick, sudden, big blast off moves, it ain't gonna happen. So you have to change your outlook on what you're anticipating in price delivery. And you'll appreciate that more when we're doing the live streams, because I'm going to explain where it should be fast, where it should be like today. And then over time, you'll start to see the characteristics. Oh yeah, I can see it. I can't articulate it in words. Like there's no way. And this is why I said, like, there's certain things in my books. There's just no way. There's no way that it could be communicated unless you just see me talk about it live. When you see me outline it, and this is what the candle is likely to do. You don't want to see it do this. You don't want to see it. I do the best I can with a 1 minute chart with annotating it, but it's still not the same as what you'll see in February. Like you'll feel it. You'll feel exactly like you're dialed in, like you're connected with price. And in times where I'm off and I'm out of sync and I get it wrong, you'll see how it gives me indications that, okay, this is not what I should be looking for. Either I move to the sideline and wait for more information, or maybe, not all the time, maybe reverse and go the other direction. And I'll talk about what makes it feasible for me to want to reverse and go against my initial expectation. What changes my mind about that? So whatever happens that price does with us when we're doing our live sessions, you're going to understand more about yourself, because you will see, looking at the charts, and when I say what I'm saying about the chart at the time, you're going to have an immediate response internally. I don't see that, or I think it's going to go the other way. And then some of you will be wrestling with me. You think it's going to go this way, or you're going to go that way. And it might be amusing to see when you might be right and I get it wrong. But most of the time, you're going to be wrong. And you need to learn from that and understand that, are you the type of person like my uncle was? He's a contrarian. And I tried to tell him all the time. I have students, Troy, you know who you are. Okay. 2016, young man, used to play poker. And most of everything I would say in my commentaries, this guy would fade it. Like he would fade it. And I'm not beating you up, Troy. Nobody knows your last name. Okay, but you know who I'm talking to. And then he would send me emails saying, I'm frustrated. I can't get to work. And then we would go through, like, what are you doing? And he's fading me. So I told him, I said, listen, you're fading my analysis, doing the opposite of it. And then you're complaining to me about why it ain't panning out, why you can't make it work. Like, what the hell? It was so frustrating for me as his teacher to try to, like, I tried to find all kinds of ways to bridge it to him and not hurt his feelings and be encouraging at the same time. But finally I said, you know what? You're revealing to me as a teacher that your strength is being a contrarian trader. So instead of me trying to change him and push him into a specific approach, he's better suited to look for opportunities to be contrarian, not so much a contrarian of me, but that's his approach to trading. So if, for instance, like a turtle suit trade, something that a false break above relative equal highs, I believe that would be a model that would fit his, well, personality and his issues with being taught under me. I can see how that could be turned into an advantageous strength. Whereas his ability to not follow my instructions and go with the bias I've outlined, one could argue, hey, you are being a unruly student. When dealing with them for weeks and months and then seeing it constantly materialize, it was better for him to just identify patterns that fit the criteria that is contrarian.